Well, Jennifer, I'm excited about the plans, and I think I just want to back up here and speak a little bit to the markets, if you don't mind. Look, I understand when President Trump sneezes, the markets catch a cold, and these markets overreacted. And as we look to the solutions here, I think we need to understand the backdrop of exactly what's happening right now. You know, I grew up in the cattle industry. I worked every Saturday from age 15 to 20 at a sale barn. Continue, like many of your listeners, lost a lot of money in the cattle industry. We all understand that why the cattle herd is so small today is because we've had drought 7 of the last 10 years. So that's why we had this very small herd, like you pointed out. And let's talk about the exports and imports just a second of beef right now. Look, America exports about 12% of its beef, and those are KC strips, they're roasts, they're high value meals, but we don't make enough hamburger here. Our cattle are such high quality, we don't make enough hamburger, and that's why we're importing, like you mentioned, beef from Australia is up. We import it from Canada. We also get a lot of beef from Mexico. Actually, like 1.2 million cattle from Mexico across the border come into this country every year. And that's stopped because of the screw worm. Because of President Trump's tariffs on Brazil, they're one of the top 3 markets too. That market has fallen down. Argentina is a small blimp. It's 1/10 of 1% of the beef that we would use in this country. So even if they triple it, they're not going to nearly replace what we were getting from Mexico and Brazil. So the markets have overreacted. I'm begging everybody, take a breath. I understand why the price of beef is what it is.
This plan includes a number of priorities, from enhancing access to feeder cattle data to transparent labeling. Any of the main elements that stand out to you when it comes to better supporting this industry?
You know, absolutely. I think it's the processing. I'm glad they're increasing the number of acres that we can graze on, but we know there's 3 packers controlling 90% of the industry. My rancher back home is getting $2.40 a pound, but it's being sold for $15 a pound at the markets, right? So for years we have pushed allowing beef sales to go across state lines by using state inspections, and we're starting to see that. We're starting to see the number of processors increase as well. We're seeing Walmart starting to process their own beef, that type of thing. You know, promoting opportunities for American ranchers to get their beef directly to the market, squeeze out that middleman. And I think that you'll see on a farm bill that we're going to try to push this legislation through, and President Trump will do everything he can, along with Secretary Rollins, on helping make that processing more competitive and get more of that money back to my calf, cow-calf operations back home who have suffered for decades.
You know, this plan also focuses on expanding access to locally raised beef for American students. Talk about the benefits that you see from these farm-to-school grants mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. I think that part of this MAHA movement, by the way, this President Trump and Secretary Kennedy supports getting more whole milk beef back into schools. Very nutrient. Is there anything more nutrient rich than milk, whole milk, and beef right now? It's such a great bang for the buck. It's such a great bang for the number of calories you're taking as well. So if we can get that beef directly, again, from our rancher into those schools with the proper inspections, of course, then I think it's a win-win opportunity. I think that, fresh hamburger, if anyone's ever had fresh hamburger that's not been frozen, they understand exactly what I'm talking about, how important that would be as well. There's nothing better. We're so lucky. We have a product no one else in the world can replicate, and that's corn-fed beef. All this beef that we're importing is grass-fed. It's very lean, and all you can do with it is make hamburgers. And again, we just can't keep up with the hamburger requests from across the country.